Hey, what's up, guys? So it's trial 3 of week 6, and I got matched up against Shtark, and I've battled Shtark before, but let's just take a look at my defense. So room 1, I'm going to go with the Pegasus Quicksilver. It can still pose problems for the RNG factor that Quicksilver brings to the match, and I'm going to try both Shuris with Old Man Logan, Black Knight, and Nightcrawler. There's a lot of speed here. The OG Shuri is just, she's only there to give speed up from her passive to Black Panther Shuri. And fortunately, I was able to get Black Panther Shuri with $15 and 1,350 cores. Don't know how the first $5 deal I was able to get 53 shards, but it happened, and I was like, wow, let me see what I can do here. So I was able to get her. I'm not interested in getting her to 5 at this point, but having her, I think there's some ways I can use her on offense or defense, and so I want to try this out to see how it goes, to see if it's something I should run for next week. And so that changed up my room 4, and what I decided to do, because when I looked at the video, the replay, Sasquatch is not helping out the Mercs team in 2, and I've seen footage to where it appears that I can get the same results out of the Red Guardian in room 5 as I would Sasquatch. Sasquatch is probably a better tank, and he won't lose his taunt, whereas Red Guardian can lose his taunt, but Red Guardian serves the purpose to make the regular counters not work there. And so it was back to the drawing board on 4, and I wanted to go back and try this basically unlimited team, the trio, with a Alpha Flight trio, and see how that works, because I think Guardian can bring an unexplored dynamic to this room and to this team, and both teams are making Sunfire so strong. I'd be interested to see what will happen if Sunfire gets a chance to go. With Sasquatch being the tank, the pre-taunt, it gives the team a chance to get going, and if he does go stealth with some damage done to Sunspot, I think that'll give Rogue a chance to taunt. So we'll see how this works out. I'm really interested to see what will happen. But the main thing is that I'm hoping that they're not able to use New Warriors here. And if it is a New Warriors pool, that would be ideal to find out if New Warriors can or cannot work with this team. And so that made room 3 kind of a room that I went back to from before. And that's just to go back to Colossus and Wolverine. I'm going to try to benefit off those reworks. And throwing in Cyclops and Forge. Cyclops gets speed up to Wolverine or Forge. And with Dorm, I think this still kind of pulls a Masters of Evil or maybe a Superior 6, and that's ideally what I'm hoping it will do here. If they use a more budget counter, then this room did not do what it was designed to do. And so room 6 is still Spider Society, and we'll see what happens here. I still think that some form of Secret Defenders or Superior 6 is the answer, but guys have been going in with New Warriors Lizard. It's beatable, but I think the efficiency is so low, if that happens, it will work to my advantage. And so my opponent has the Infinity Watch in 1, and my first thought is going with Pegasus. In 2 has Nightcrawler and New War, so this is a tricky team. I'm probably going to have to kind of search the counter sheet because he's got Zugs in there, and I'm sure there's a couple counters that work. So looking at his entire defense, my first thought is I could just play it safe and go in with Cabal, Kang, and Titania, and I think that'll be fine. And for 3, since he doesn't have Scroll or Apoc on defense, I think I can just go in with Superior 6 and Apoc and be fine. Room 4, most likely, I'm just going to do Secret Defenders. Even though he has Quicksilver in there, I still think Secret Defenders is fine. The only G19 is Peter, but since it's only 5 stars, I don't think I have to play it any differently than I normally would. And since there's no Noir in there, I think that makes the counter a little more reliable. He has full Hive Mind. I'm sure there was a number of counters for Hive Mind. I'll take a look. I don't remember which ones there were. I don't remember offhand the ones that worked here, but I don't see a problem with going in one shot in this room. That's my hope. And then I've done this battle before with the out of time in Dorm. It's just been a while since I've done it in 6, but I still think the New Warriors will take this fine. So that's the plan, is going to this room with New Warriors. Since I don't have to deal with a Scroll or Apoc on defense, it's pretty safe for me just to go in with Apoc and Superior 6. And the idea is just go ahead and pull Lizard because he wouldn't be needed here. So you don't have a lot of options on how you're going to start this battle. You're going to just go in with the Vulture special right on to the Black Knight. Then hopefully you can move over to Forge. If you're able to move over to Forge, then you're just going to target him. If I still target him even when I have Raider, it may not matter, but I like to have the target on him and then just go forward with the rest of my attacks on the team. So Black Knight taunts again. Ideally, you want to hit the special here. You're going to cause some damage. You're going to get the ability block on Black Knight. That's key. And then you can just kind of just break the team down from here. So as I went into this, I had to change plans because I was going to need the New Warriors on that hive mind. And because as I looked at the counters, I realized I had done that before, and I had actually looked at this series video a second time, and it was a reminder on how to kind of go through that battle. So here, I'm just going to go in with the Eternals, Tangle Web, and I figure Big Time Spider-Man. And so I want to use the Big Time Spider-Man special, and I want to make sure Peggy can't revive. I was hoping that the chain would hit Cap, but it doesn't really matter. As long as she can't revive, that limits the reviving potential of this team. And so after that, I want to stun the Peggy, and then I'll just hit with the ult and slowly dissect this team. Once again, because my opponent doesn't have Scroll or Apoc on defense, this would be the ideal time to use a nuclear option on his Room 2. Even though my opponent has Quicksilver in the lineup, there's no New War, so I'm just going to go in with Secret Defenders and approach this team pretty similarly to as I normally would. So with the new warriors going into the hive mind, you can punch up pretty big. Fortunately, I have a big new warrior, so there's not a lot of worry here. The key thing is that I want to make sure that when I hit into the venom, I'm able to hit the Void Knight and the Carnage. And so I hit into Venom again because I do want to hit into the Void Knight and the Carnage. Then I choose the spread off the Void Knight so I can hit the Red Goblin because I don't want to take Carnage down any lower than he already is. And so now the team is prepped for another hit. So what I do is I go for the basic on the Red Goblin, is not to bring down anyone else or not to bring down the Carnage, so that when I go in with this ult here, I have a chance to kill most of the team. So the results are in, guys, and I was pleasantly surprised to see the score. So clearly, he dropped a room, and he couldn't clear a room. So let's just take a look to see what happened here. So he did have scroll and scroll for offense, but he beat the room. And so here, he did try Superior 6, but I just don't really see it because the whole idea of Black Panther Shuri is to make sure villains do not spawn with any type of speed up. But the nuclear option did work, which I'm fine with that, because if you have to go in and beat this team with Kang, Titania, and Cabal, then that's a win. And so he was able to beat this team with new warriors. And that's not what I wanted to see happen. But it is a super low efficiency. So for the most part, I think it's worth keeping this team. And so we'll just start off Monday to see if something similar happens or if I should switch them out. And this room was beaten pretty easily, but he used Apoc here. So I'm pretty comfortable with this team for the moment, because if you have to use an Apoc on it, then that's a win, because I basically see this as a B tier team. And so I see. He ended up trying Scroll and Apoc on my room 5. But now it makes sense why he used Scroll and Apoc somewhere else. And so all the options he tried didn't work. But at the end of the day, he couldn't clear the room, so that helped solidify my win. And of course, since he had Superior 6 left over, he took him right into my Spider Society. So let's take a look to see how this plays out. He was efficient, so I'm thinking that it went pretty quickly, but I'm interested to see how both Shuris did. So, from the little bit we can gather from this, it's clear that Black Knight is essential if you're going to try to run both Shuris with Old Man Logan and, of course, Nightcrawler. That none of them took a turn and only Black Knight was retaliating is a concern, but of course, this is the meta team for Crucible this season in Cabal, Kang, and Titania. So, I'm going to go ahead and run it again Monday, and I'll look for any clips or screenshots so I can get a little more information on how this team actually works, since we can't see the cancel battle. And even though this team got smashed, I mean, he has a super strong secret defenders and a very strong Apoc. Let's just take a look to see the mechanics of this team and how it played out. So I think this team works as planned. This is a super meta counter used on it, and that's a result of him having difficulties with room 2 and 5. But I'm very interested to see how this defense will perform against a more inline budgetary counter. So definitely going to run it again on Monday. So that's it for this one, guys. For the most part, I think my defense is pretty set going into next week. The only thing that may change for the most part is room 2 as I get a little more information. But most likely I'm going to run the same thing Monday, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, guys, chat later.